Hi, today I will be showing you how I made a silicone mold using a 1/8 inch thick Baltic Birch Plywood blank. And I will also be showing you how I made epoxy and UV resin blanks out of the mold. I loved this wood blank design and I wanted to experiment to see if I can mold the wood without sealing it with Mod Podge or any kind of sealant. It is recommended that you seal the wood first before molding it, but I wanted to see what happens when you don't seal it first. I will be using llElevenLabs resin adjustable mold housing. I use this 5-inch tape. I use the tape as a bottom layer to stop the silicone from escaping and to keep my wood blank in place. Now I use my hot glue gun to glue the glue around the mold housing so the silicone won't escape. So now I am measuring out my silicone. This silicone is 10 hardness and translucent clear. This is a pretty good silicone. It says that it takes 4 hours to cure, but I always allow it to cure for 24 hours before I take it out of the mold housing. I measured part A and part B in grams. I stir this for 4 minutes and then pour it. I'm adding little pieces of leftover silicone from my last projects. There were a few bubbles, but I didn't mind. I'm just doing this as an experiment, so I let this cure for about 24 hours. The next day, I removed the housing. I was able to take the wood out of the mold. I've used a nail cuticle nipper to remove the excess silicone. You can use scissors too. So I let the mold sit for one more day before I put the epoxy resin in it. This epoxy resin was actually expired by 3 months when I got it, but it still worked. The company claims that the resin is supposed to be crystal clear, but it wasn't for me. Maybe I just didn't mix it correctly, or maybe it wasn't that clear because it was expired. I don't know, but it still got hard. However, it did take a day to get hard though. This company says that it takes 4 to 6 hours to cure, and it does cure, but it's still bendy within that time frame, so it's best to allow it to cure for a day, but that may have been because of the temperature in my house. So I took it out the next day, and it looked really nice. It was a little hard to take it out. I love the way it came out. So the front was shiny and the back was matte. It really captured the lines and texture of the wood. If you look at the wood closely, you can see a little bit of silicone residue stuck on it, and that is why they recommend that you seal the wood first to avoid the silicone sticking to it. But the only con to sealing the wood is that it will take away all of the little details of the wood. I love how I was able to capture the lines of the wood. Tell me, would you prefer the shiny side of the epoxy resin or the wood-like matte side? Now this is me using the UV resin about 5 days later. This is another resin brand that I've ordered from Amazon. I cured the resin for 90 seconds on the front, then I flipped it over and cured it for another 90 seconds on the back. It was way easier to take out the UV resin compared to taking out the epoxy resin, and I think it could be because the mold needed more time to completely cure. I added the epoxy resin to the mold one day after the mold cured, and maybe I should have waited 2 or 3 days after. But the temperature in my home is very bipolar, and I think it takes longer for the silicone and epoxy resin to cure. There were bubbles in the cured resin, but I didn't feel like getting rid of them. These still came out looking good, and you can see the wood features on the back mat side. I just love the wood look. I made these into earrings, and later on I filed the edges so they wouldn't be so sharp. Well, I hope you liked this video. I hope I didn't leave out too much information. I was just trying to make it short and sweet. But if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. Thanks for watching.